Watch out for thieves stealing catalytic converters from cars. Massive police bus show you how much you have to lose. Hi, I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, and author of Is That the Best You Can Do? You have arrived at the home of super high-intensity training for car buyers. The amazing Elizabeth is here, and we're going to be talking about the many reports that thieves are targeting catalytic converters on cars, and the newer the car, the more they like your converter. Well, why? Because precious metals that are inside a catalytic converter. Using battery-operated saws and a simple jack to create ground clearance, they saw right through your exhaust pipe to remove the device.
And they're shipping these catalytic converters to China.
Unreal.
Where reportedly they're getting 4 times the rate that they would here in the United States. Well, as our Homework Guy followers know, this channel mainly focuses on preparing car buyers with homework and research to do before a sale, but today we're telling you about a ripoff that has nothing to do with car dealers.
Surprise!
These are thieves of another sort. If you're new here, you have a lot of catching up to do. There are tons of videos on our channel covering car buying strategies and everything you need to know, from paying for a car with cash to avoiding becoming a victim of fraud at a car dealership. So show us how smart you are and subscribe now and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. The Homework Guy is the best show and the best car buying advice you can find online.
Reports coming out of California, one of the hotbeds for catalytic converter thieves, include dozens of arrests and hundreds of stolen catalytic converters in the possession of these thieves. Thieves are being a little reckless, though, stealing them in broad daylight because it takes just minutes to cut them off your car, and some are getting a little sloppy with safety and preparation that it's costing them their lives. Not that I feel sorry for a thief, but check out this story.
A shocking crime scene in Anaheim. A man crushed to death by a car, and police think he was trying to steal a catalytic converter. This comes amid a surge in thefts of these pricey car parts. KCAL9's Jasmine Veal has that story.
This photo shows a man crushed underneath a Toyota Prius in an auto repair lot in Anaheim after police say he was trying to steal the car's catalytic converter overnight.
The jack that he used to lift up the vehicle failed, and the car came down on top of him, unfortunately crushing him and causing his death.
Police found his tools he had left behind under the car, which belongs to Wilmar Rodriguez's building company.
It's just unfortunate that that situation had to happen.
Several business owners here say this is not the first time thieves have stolen their catalytic converters, which is a costly critical emissions control device that can be sawed off from the belly of a car in minutes and contains precious metals.
In recent weeks, we've had a rash of catalytic converters stolen out of the complex here.
Sean Harp was one of the first business owners to discover the man's body and call police.
What I found peculiar was that his shoes were off. It led me to believe that somebody was there assisting him and tried to pull him out, maybe.
And why a Toyota Prius? Because these converters fetch a higher price because the gas engines don't run as much, meaning more of those precious metals are still there.
It's a crime that we've seen in Southern California occurring for quite a while, but right now it does seem to be reaching somewhat more of a fevered pitch.
Just last Friday, police found a catalytic converter and power saw inside this truck after the speeding driver crashed into a Garden Grove pool, killing the 2 parolees inside along with an innocent driver. These stolen catalytic converters were found in Santa Monica. The parts are shipped overseas, like to China, where the price has quadrupled in the last 5 years due to demand because of stricter emission restrictions. As for this case, police are still looking for any accomplices. In Anaheim, Jasmine Veal, KCAL9 News.
And there are ways you can keep an eye on your catalytic converter. At the sheriff stations in Walnut and Diamond Bar, auto workers etched driver's license plate numbers on their catalytic converters for free today. The goal is to deter thieves from stealing the hot commodity and assist police with catching and prosecuting them.
Maybe you weren't aware that catalytic converter theft is a thing while it is, and the problem is getting worse. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, this past year has brought about a rapid rise in catalytic converter theft. In 2019, an average of 282 catalytic converters were stolen every month. In 2020, the average had risen to 1,203, and that's just an average.
This year, those numbers shot over 2,300 a month.
Wow.
You might be wondering, what's the deal here? Why are thieves doing this? Well, I mentioned that catalytic converters contain precious metals, which are rapidly increasing in value, including platinum, currently worth $1,100 per ounce, palladium, currently worth $2,400 per ounce, and rhodium, currently worth $24,000 per ounce. It's like having a mini retirement fund riding underneath you, underneath your floorboards of your car. Did you know that your catalytic converter was worth that much?
Well, this past year gave thieves a greater opportunity with more people letting their cars sit in the same place for a long period of time. With people working from home and the precious metals being worth so much, you have an opportunity for bad actors to do their thing.
The question is, who is the greatest at risk? Which converters do the thieves like the most? Well, if you happen to own a hybrid like a Toyota Prius, you're on the frequent flyer list for
Ooh,
thieves.
watch out.
The fact that the car runs less on gas helps to preserve the precious metals longer. There's less contamination, therefore they get a higher price for a hybrid catalytic converter. Is your car a hybrid? If so, be on the watch for thieves.
And there's more than just hybrids on the hot list. Big trucks like the Ford F-250 and F-350 Super Duty also seem to be frequent targets. Ford assumes this is because of their higher ground clearance and gives easier access to the thieves to the converter. Among the Fords, the big 6.7-liter V8. That's the one thieves love the most.
If you're a potential target, what can you do? How do you fight the thieves? Well, several police departments are trying to help in California, Texas, Minnesota, North Carolina, and Illinois. They are etching your license plate number on the catalytic converter for free. Obviously, this is something that you could do no matter where you live. That seems to be deterring the thieves, interestingly. You can also buy a device known as the Miller Cat Shield. You can order it from Amazon for about $140, and it's basically a metal plate with tamper-resistant screws that protects the converter from would-be thieves. There's also a product called Cat Strap that uses adhesive, hardened steel rods, a strap, and exhaust clamps to create a near impossible barrier for a thief to cut through.
You don't want to be the target of catalytic converter theft. First, it's a huge inconvenience. And secondly, it can cost you as much as $3,000 to get it fixed, depending on which vehicle you own.
Ouch.
And you don't want to get stung with a $3,000 repair bill you weren't counting on. Most of the protective devices Kevin described run from about $140 to as much as $800, depending on which system you go with. The higher costs will be for people who can't do it for themselves, and you'll have to pay somebody else to do the install.
Interestingly, almost anything you do can slow down a thief. In some areas, they reported that simply spraying your catalytic converter with a brightly colored high-temp paint can do the job. You can add ID numbers at the same time. Some scrapyards don't want them if they've been painted or have identifiers on them, and that reduces your chances of being a target.
You can also turn up the sensitivity of your car alarm. Some alarms go off with a gentle bump. While it's impossible to remove a catalytic converter without moving the car and producing a fair bit of vibration.
That's right. It's not a bad idea to also check your car insurance. If you have just liability coverage, you should know that a catalytic converter theft will not be covered on your insurance.
So how do you know your catalytic converter has been stolen?
It's loud.
Well, you come out in the morning, you leave for work, or you come back after leaving your car parked somewhere, and you fire your car up, and that loud noise coming from under your car, yep, that's a missing catalytic converter.
What do you do if your catalytic converter is stolen? Well, if you decided to buy a replacement yourself, the aftermarket catalytic converters are cheaper. Just make sure that aftermarket products are allowed in your state. They're not allowed everywhere, so you need to know that. If you're not sure, have a conversation with your local muffler shop. They'll know if that's legal. The possible benefit with going with an aftermarket catalytic converter is that they're less desirable to the thieves and may prevent future thefts.
Don't drive your loud car all over the place either.
No.
If you're taking it to a shop to be repaired, just drive straight there. And if you're doing it yourself, take another vehicle to town and catch a ride with a neighbor to get your parts, or just order them online. Bottom line, you could damage your vehicle driving it without the converter. So don't create more problems than you already have.
File a police report too. In most jurisdictions, you can even do it online. You never know. It might assist the police with making arrests. The police report will also be useful for an insurance claim if you do have coverage, and many of you will. Take good pictures of the damaged area and contact your insurance company.
While you're getting a new catalytic converter installed, look into the anti-theft devices that Kevin mentioned. And Kevin, you haven't mentioned the most obvious solution.
That's right. Many of you own cars that don't have catalytic converters at all. And there are plenty of these cars on the market. Well, electric cars, no catalytic converter. Hydrogen-powered cars, no catalytic converter. And of course, a number of older cars that have been on the road for years, well, they don't have catalytic converters either. If you fit in one of these categories, why are you still watching the video? I'm just kidding.
Well, there you go. Get a vehicle that doesn't have a catalytic converter and you have nothing to worry about. If you appreciate the video today, consider giving us that great big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Include hashtag the homework guy and look for us on any of your favorite social media platforms out there. There's a list of options on the screen and they're also linked in the description box below. And if you're new here, as Kevin always reminds you, make sure you check out all the other videos. We've reached over 45 million people, a number that is rapidly growing, and you might as well benefit from our great content too.
That's right. And if you love what we do and want to contribute with a tip, well, PayPal and Cash App links you see here will be easy to find in that description box down below. But no problem if you can't do a tip. The best way to help us out is to share this video with your family and friends so they can get just as lucky as you did today. Encourage them to subscribe and ring the notification bell. If you're a current subscriber, make sure you've rung the notification bell. Otherwise, you don't get notification of our shows, and then you're going to miss the great content coming up. The entire Homework Guy team is here to represent you, the car buyer, and that's exactly what we do. Well, thanks everyone for coming back. We'll see you on our next video. You guys rock. I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, here with the amazing Elizabeth. We gotta go.